10:03, unless you're on the West Coast, that's 8:03 in the morning. Or Central Time, it's 10:03, or Mountain, it's 9:03, and all the other very important and wonderful time zones around the place. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Postcards, everybody. I'm so excited to be here, except I can't find my pick, which is not an unusual situation. So excited to be here this morning with you all. I'm your host, Jenny Van West, coming to you live from the Postcard studio, which is looking a little different. There's a window seat back there. It's just a matter of perspective. I decided I wanted to look at the wall of love and see everybody's postcards today. So I moved everything around, and now I'm looking at all your beautiful mail. So let's get started, shall we? We got a wonderful guest today coming to us live from Austin, Texas. Ms. Mandy Rowden is with us. Incredible singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and co-founder, co-creator of Girl Guitar Austin. And she has a new album out, and everything's groovy. When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard. When you're feeling fine and there's something on your mind, just write a postcard. Don't you know Grandma loves this show? She listens every time from North Moldova. You don't need a reason, you don't need a rhyme to write a postcard to P.O. Box 1252. Just write a postcard. 04098. Just write a postcard to Westbrook, Maine, 'cause Grandma loves this show. Well, welcome to Postcards, everybody. I'm your host, Jenny Van West, coming to you live from the Postcard studio, where it's always 70 and sunny. And I know it looks a little different in here today, but I really, really, truly am in the Postcard studio. I just decided that for a little while, I wanted to be able to look at all your incredible mail. Because usually when I'm doing the show, I've got it right behind me, and everybody else has got a great glimpse of it. And then, so that's just the way it is. And today I have an incredible live guest coming to us from Austin, Texas. Ms. Mandy Rowden's with us this morning. She's hanging out in the green room with Greta right now while we get things started. So leave me a comment, like, subscribe, all the good things. Let me know that you're here, so I can say hello to you from wherever you are. Oh, to wherever you are. Let's see. So Monday I had a little bit of a break. I was tired. I was tired. This whole reopening thing is definitely like it's a Pandora's box of some all kinds of interesting things, isn't it? So anyway, write it on a postcard, send it to me, P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine, 04098. We read the mail on Mondays, and I'd love to hear from you. So do send me a postcard. So I'm thinking it's time to bring in our special guest of the day. I don't want to go any further without our amazing, amazing special guest, Mandy Rowden. Mandy, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. What's up, Mandy?
Good morning. I love this intro. Keep talking. This is fun.
Oh yes. It's always fun. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. You hear me slurping coffee, right? So.
Oh, slurp away. I know. I had two mugs of coffee going in here a couple minutes ago. We got some people in the room. I want to see who's here. Well, good morning, Leslie Cash Job down in Austin and Emily Hanton in Las Vegas. We have people. We got people, Mandy.
Oh, real people.
Real people. So we got a chance to meet each other. I just kind of like barely, but down in Austin during South by Southwest. It was so good to get to meet you. How was your South by the way?
You know, it was good. It was weird for a lot of us locals. And I don't know if everyone had this experience. In reality, though, I spent most of it with you guys at the Grateful to Get Back party, show, festival deal. So it was really cool, but it was also weird because I think a lot of us were apprehensive to get involved, thinking it might get canceled again.
Yep.
So we, like most of my peers and myself, we didn't really book much. And it felt funny that all this was going on and we just weren't really in the mix because we were sort of chicken, I guess.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
It's sort of weird, but hopefully we won't deal with that again. And next year it'll just be full speed ahead.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think we got a chance to chit chat briefly on a live postcards from Peace House Farm. That was really so fun. And I spotted you a couple of times during for people who weren't there, I'll just explain. This all happened on a nice big residential garden and beautiful house situation right abutting a creek, and it's a beautiful place, but it's not that big. So the fact that you and I were both there the entire time and we didn't really interact as much as we could have is kind of hilarious. I did get I actually have a couple great photos of you that I'm going to send to you because or little video clips while you were playing. John Thomas was there with one of his Banner guitars, and there was a wonderful moment where you were standing and playing that guitar.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah.
That's a whole deal, man. We could talk about that a lot, but
I know. But we have other things to talk about, like the fact that. Okay, so let's just jump in. You have an album that came out in 2021, so it's a new album. Tell us about that. I was listening to it yesterday. It's fabulous, truly fabulous. And so tell us a little bit about the making of that album and so forth. Whatever you'd like to say about it.
Well, I loved making that album. It was a really unique experience for me. First time I've made an album in a quarantine. Probably a lot of people's first time. So because of the circumstances of recording it throughout 2020, I ended up playing almost all the instruments on the album because we just were keeping the cast small as everyone was doing. So I didn't play any of the drums. I played most of the bass. I played all the guitar and piano and violin and mandolin. There's a little banjo. There's actually a thing called a cavaquinho on there, which I played as well. And so that was a blast. I've always kind of wanted to do that, but living in a place like Austin, you're like, there's so many great musicians. Let's, stack the deck with them. And because of the circumstances, I finally did it. And so I'm just endlessly proud of that. When you're listening to Parachute, you're listening to pretty much all me.
Man, that's so cool. Because I have to say, I was like listening to the electric guitars and stuff, and I was like, oh, isn't this so great? She made this album, at home in Austin. She got in all these like amazing Austinites who are also quarantining. They probably have their home studios set up and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's you. That is awesome. I love it. I love it.
Thanks. It was a blast. It was a real blast. It was a hard experience in a lot of ways, but that's what makes it rewarding. Just the logistics that we were all dealing with during that time. Everything we did, waking up, putting pants on in a given day, surviving through the weekend. That was all of that.
Pants?
Really cool. Yeah, let's be honest. There were no pants. But yeah, the album, it's got, I could blab about this all day, so I don't know exactly what you want me to say.
Go ahead and blab a little bit. I'll cut you off if you go on too long.
I can get a little bit long-winded, so it's wise to have
You're fine. You're in good company. The show's going to be 4 hours long, okay?
I'll start at the beginning.
Start at the beginning.
I recorded it at Six String Ranch here in Austin with my buddy Matt Smith, who produced the album. And so he actually played the remainder of the bass, and then we did fly in the drums, like you were picturing somebody in quarantine with the home studio, Brian Mendez, who's a local rock star. I mean, we're not allowed to cuss, I guess. Okay, he's a rock star.
I know what you mean. I understood you. And
he did a fantastic job, and it was so cool. But yeah, Six String Ranch is just this beautiful studio. It's in this old kind of 1920s home, sort of in the West Campus area here. And it's just so comfortable and arty. And as a vintage guitar fan, it's full of vintage guitars. Like, you would freak out there. Back to the John Thomas talk. If you were at all enamored with the Banner guitar and his story and everything, you would absolutely freak out at Six String Ranch. It's a really cool place, and it's actually usually hard to get into, but given the circumstances, it was wide open. So there I was.
So there's a there was a lot of talk. I mean, I started this show during the pandemic. It was part of my response to just the whole situation, but there was a lot been talking about silver linings since 2020, and they tend to the challenges were immense, and sometimes the silver linings were too. And so what I'm hearing you say is that was like the fact that you had access to that place in the way that you did was pretty exceptional. Yeah. Well, so maybe we can get into a song now, and you can tell us a little bit about the song you're going to play.
Yeah, sure. This is one of my favorites from the record. It's called "Get Out of the City." This is a common theme around here. I don't know if you picked this up from your short time in Austin recently, but everybody's dying to leave. Like, everybody's dying to live here, and everyone who lives here is dying to move away. It's just it's a fluid culture.
Come to Maine.
Yeah, don't tempt me.
I'll try. If you say that to me, I will totally try.
Well, I grew up in the country, and I love living in the city, but I got country in my blood, and there are days where that's all I can think about, especially living right off of South Lamar and just trying to get to work or the grocery store or whatever is taking your life in your hands. And so anyway, it's that kind of city tension that prompted this song. I was on a little weekend trip in kind of central Texas, near where I'm from, and it prompted this whole song. So anyway, it's called
Awesome. Let's hear it. Mandy Rowden.
There's a special way the folks in Texas sing their summer song. Unlike the pines of Montana or the California palms, there's a wind off the Gulf that saves us from the heat. Rattlesnake songs drumming to their own beat. There's a special way the Oaks in Texas sing their summer song. I can hear the birds singing what I've been trying to say. The congestion of our neighborhood seems 1,000 miles away. There's another way of doing things, a better way of living that the crowded streets of Austin hasn't been given. I can hear the birds singing what I've been trying to say. Don't open my eyes enough. I know I don't see the sky enough. Gotta get out of the city to find the stuff. Gotta get out of the city tonight, my love. What will 40 years from now be like if it's too loud now? If we live to be old folks, will we still be fighting crowds? When our paradise becomes a shopping mall, we'll have both feet in the dirt, unaware of it all. What will 40 years from now be like if it's too loud now? Don't open my eyes enough. I know I don't see the sky enough. Gotta get out of the city to find this stuff. Gotta get out of the city tonight, my love. How did we ever live without this? How did we ever stay sane? How did we ever live without a tin roof pelted with rain? Traded in our skyscrapers for sunsets and stars. Swapped the rock clubs for campfires and guitars. How'd we ever live without this? How did we ever stay sane? Don't open my eyes enough. I know I don't see the sky enough. Gotta get out of the city to find the stuff. Gotta get out of the city to not my love.
Oh yeah, Dave Rowden. I love that. What a great song. One of there's so many good things to say about that. I grew up in a sort of rural-esque area of suburban Washington, D.C., suburban Maryland that was undergoing rapid development. So as soon as you talk about fields getting, the countryside being turned into shopping malls, I'm right there with you. Yeah. One of the things I just love about that song, there's so many things, but one of the things I love about that song is like talking about where you want to go. like singing that, saying that. So is that something that sort of like resonates with your thoughts about that song, or like talking about where you want to go and what you want to see happen? Is that
You mean specifically where I'll go?
Yeah, like 40 years from now. Like yeah.
Well, I have, like, let me think about it. I have too many ideas. Sure, I want to live in like 35 different places, I guess, all at once. But, realistically, the Texas Hill Country is the obvious place to head for us. But we also daydream a lot about getting some land in Montana where we spend our summers, and having a place up there, and then maybe potentially moving there full time. But we're kind of idiots about it because as much as we're in Montana, pretty often we've never actually been during the winter. So we're picturing like a future of just nonstop Montana summer, which is we're in for a pretty rude awakening, I think.
Yeah. So go ahead. Keep talking.
I could just keep on rambling everywhere. We go. We're like, ooh, we could live here. We could live here. It's just like it's a fun game to daydream.
So going back to talking about your album and all the guitars you played on the album. And people, you got to go listen to it. It's called Parachute, and it's. I was listening to it on Spotify yesterday, but I imagine it's all over the place, as these things are wont to be. But you have a really great right hand on the guitar, and I don't need to, I don't need to go into that in too much detail. I just noticed these things, and I'm like, where did you really like? What were the situations where you really developed your guitar chops?
That's an awesome question. This is fun to talk about because you're a strong guitar player too.
Oh, thank you.
So it's like
thank you.
These things in a different way. We can get a little geeky here if we want.
Let's do it. I want to know where. I'm just curious about what were the situations where you really developed your guitar chops.
Let me think here. I played guitar really casually through high school and early in college. Like I could just strum chords and I would just play Dixie Chick songs in my bedroom, and that was the extent of it. But I was decent at that. I was a violinist and a piano player before. And it wasn't until I moved down to San Marcos, I went to school at Southwest Texas, and began going to picker circles. I think this is where it all really started for me. I kind of dabbled in writing songs. I wasn't very serious about it, but then I started going to Lukenbach. I think I discovered Lukenbach somewhere in there. I was a big fan of just drinking beer with my friends. And so Lukenbach is a perfect place to combine everything I love.
Often termed the road to ruin, but in this case, maybe not.
You like how I throw that out there like that's unique? Like I developed a love.
Okay, you want to get better at the guitar, just drink beer with your friends. Okay.
Yeah, well, it worked for me. Because in that culture at that time, just guitars were everywhere. Yeah. So it sounds kind of stupid, but like if I wanted to go drink on the river with my friends, someone's bringing guitars and I'm going to play and they're going to play and we're going to learn from each other. And it is. I mean, it's definitely idiotic. It's not lost.
No. And I was making jokes because it's just so funny to say like, oh, number one, drink beer with your friends. But the environment that you're talking about, tell us more about that.
Sure.
That sounds like it was a good environment.
It was a great environment. And I make a lot of jokes about drinking. But the point that I think is important is if you can learn guitar in a way that's relaxing and fun for you, that's such a great way to learn guitar. I never sat in classrooms and practice rooms and that kind of deal. That wouldn't have worked for my personality. But the thing about picker circles is you absorb a lot of things. You're not necessarily studying, but you're just absorbing. And because you hear so much stuff around you and you're kind of trying to figure out how to fit in, even if it's just a simple little strum, it's like dancing. Everyone's doing something and I'm doing my own thing, but it's kind of different, but we're all in time. And I just sort of learned how to dance in that way, I think. And then secondary from the pickers circle culture, it's hard to say, I started teaching. I started girl guitar and I was teaching, guitar all day, every day. And a lot of what I was teaching wasn't super hard, but when you just simply repeat stuff that much, you just develop a command for it. I think by 15 years of strumming G, C, and D with beginner guitar classes, it's just like something I'm so comfortable with that I have a confidence and a mastery with the right hand that probably wouldn't have gotten if I was like studying guitar.
Right.
Weird how that works.
Yeah, and so this is really interesting because I'm hearing these two different situations with which I am also familiar, and which situations that I'm also in to a certain extent as well. Which is, one is, you know, being in more of a mentoring capacity, and then backing up to your drinking beer by the river, like being in picker circles here, there, and everywhere, where I'm guessing at that time you're with people who are a lot more accomplished or a lot more further along in their playing, you know, and trying to keep up. Mm-hmm. And both of these things being things that build confidence, endurance, how to deal with demoralization, you know, any number of things that we need as players to continue to improve and enjoy what we're doing.
Totally. Yeah. I can rattle about that a lot, honestly. I have many thoughts there, but I think
maybe we need to do this twice. I'm just going to say. I know. I've already decided I want to come down. I want to like get involved with Girl Guitar and like book a plane ticket and come down for a weekend. And when you're doing something, I just want to come hang out. And, right? I'm like super into that. So I know I keep talking about it, but we haven't really gone into that. So maybe the next thing we could talk about is Girl Guitar and what, you know, share a little bit with our listeners what that is and how you got started.
Okay. I love talking about Girl Guitar. When I was 26, I think, I'd been teaching piano and violin to 6 and 7-year-olds at the Austin School of Music. It was a really good experience, but as you can imagine, teaching violin to little kids is really hard to do for very long. So I hit some burnout. I called it a quarter-life crisis. I packed up everything and moved to New York for a little bit. And it was a great experience in a lot of ways, but when I decided to come back, like a lot of people, I was broke out of my mind. It was the holidays. I couldn't find a decent job. I found a little bartending gig, but the money sucked, and my phone got cut off. My cell phone got cut off. It was just a really crappy feeling. I had been so on top of the world just a few months before.
Yeah. Speaking of demoralization, that'll do it. Yeah.
You learn in music pretty quick how to roll with those sort of punches, because that's just part of it. But yeah, some friends suggested, why don't you throw together a women's guitar class to throw together enough money to pay your stupid phone bill, you idiot, is kind of how it came across. And I never taught group classes before. I never really taught adults, but I thought, oh, this could be kind of fun. I know all my Sheryl Crow and my Joan Jett and my Amy Mann, and that was a big one. And of course, my Dixie Chicks and my Lisa Loeb and all these things. And so that's what I did. This is kind of a funny part of the story. These were the MySpace days. So
yes. Okay, so we're talking 90s, early 2000s, or
2007 or
2007.
Early 2007. So I made a MySpace page. I put zero thought into it. I slapped the name Girl Guitar on there, thinking, I wasn't thinking, it was a name. And I started friending women in the Austin area who had listed music as interest. And somehow I got together enough women to do this class. We did a 6-week class. We played a little showcase on the patio at a Mexican restaurant right out here on South Lamar.
Nice.
And it was a blast. And I got myself turned back on. And we had so much fun that everybody wanted to do it again. And they wanted their friends to join. And then we had need for 2 classes. And then we wanted to add songwriting. And then we needed multiple levels of guitar. And then we got our own space and started doing band classes. So like a full-on rock camp for women. And then now we're in our 16th year now.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Congrats.
Thank you. It's crazy to think about. Austin Woman magazine did an article on me at some point, and the big giant headline in the magazine called me the accidental entrepreneur. And it always makes me laugh because it was such an accident. I did not mastermind that this was going to be my life's work or anything. I just wanted my cell phone back on. I was drunk. I don't know. I was just trying to get through the holidays and find a better job. And it's really cool how stuff lands in your lap sometimes. Yeah,
totally. Like there was maybe some bigger plan at work or however you want to think about it. But But at the time, it was born of necessity. Like you needed to do something and fast because you had no way to receive or send send a text or anything.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny how stuff happens. People say, "How did you think of this?" And what background do you have in business? And I just laugh. I'm like, "Oh my god, I did not sit down and think about this at all. It's just evolved." But it's really cool. Like at every turn, doors have opened. Something weird happens, but this door opens. Oh, and this is cool for everybody. And then here we are doing something awesome. And someone goes, "How did you think of this?" And I'm like, this just happened. Something just presented itself. And here we are. I wish I could take credit for how smart I am or something, but this is public.
Yeah. So, let's do a quick station idea. Well, Thea McHugh Wood. Well, hello.
Hey,
yeah. What's up, Thea? We've got a bunch of listeners this morning. This is really nice. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Postcards. We're here I'm here in Portland, Maine, in the Postcard studio, speaking with the very, very wonderful Mandy Rowden, who I had the pleasure to meet and just get a taste of your whole deal when I was down in Austin last month for South by, and for Grateful to get back at Peace House Farm. So we've been talking about girl guitar, which is a really amazing thing that you've been doing that's kind of started by accident and born of necessity and needing a couple bucks to turn your phone back on. So fast forward 17 years, almost 17 years, and here we are. You've got your own space. You're actually in that space right now. Maybe you could give us, people can go to the website, check out more, but I want to ask one big question about this. In a nutshell, how has this experience impacted your songwriting?
Oh, that's an awesome question. Hugely. I think, what's the best way to say this? I think that most of us have an ability to write songs if we want. I know that I have an inherent ability to write songs. What I lack, what I need badly is accountability. I need a deadline or a friend who's going to bust my butt if I don't write it or that kind of thing. And one aspect of Girl Guitar is our ongoing, we have songwriting classes, we have open mics and often songwriter performances, and we do these retreats and camps for writing. And simply being surrounded by that so much is hugely motivating to me. I think my actual follow through with writing is hugely because of Girl Guitar. Because, well, if I'm teaching the class, I have to obviously show up and get the stuff done. Right. You know what I mean? Because working for women too. These women are all capable of writing and writing well. Yeah. And they take a class and they go, cool, I got it. Thanks for the help. I'm going to go write on my own now. And then a few months later, they're back and they're like, I didn't write anything. I need this weekly, I need to meet up with y'all. And it's not like we're telling them a bunch of stuff they don't already know. I hope I'm making sense here.
Yeah, totally. Oh, totally. The accountability part of but it's also like the ongoing. I mean, it's an ongoing accountability situation, not just because you have to show up and teach, but you're like sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and your time with people who are going off and using that and coming back and I would imagine if I was in that situation, I'd be like, oh, I just got shown up by my student. All right, game on. Let's do this. Let's make some more music. Let's write some more. I feel challenged now. That's the way it should work.
Totally. We don't. I work really hard to not foster a sense of competition, but it is true that there are times where I'm like, whoa, they're getting really good, and it encourages me to step up my game. I think encouragement more than challenge is probably the right word, but it's really amazing because I have to talk about it so much too. It makes me analyze what I like about songs. So instead of just kind of like offhandedly writing down some stuff and being like, good enough, there's a song, I'm constantly talking with them about their lyrics and their progressions and their melodies. And it's really helping me make concrete in my own mind what I feel like is effective.
Yeah.
So I'm getting like accidentally I'm getting to study songwriting every day.
Totally. Oh my God. Oh, I'm just so into this. Well, let's see. We've got a couple people to say hello to this morning. Gary Lemons, welcome to Postcards. Great to see you. We had a wonderful time chatting with Gary last week about his poetry and lyrics, the relationship there. And Cecily Allman, nice to see you here. All right. Thea had a great little comment here. Co-opetition. That's a cool word. I like it. Because some of us respond to a little competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I always, when I'm leaning into collaboration, I'm always leaning in that direction because competition tends to isolate and collaboration tends to bring people together. Co-opetition, I love that. Co-opetition. So I'm thinking it might be a great moment to do another song. You up for it?
Always. Sure.
So what you got under your fingers, Ms. Mandy?
What am I feeling like here? I'll play another one of my favorites off of the album. And I'm sorry for the tuning noise here. We got humidity in Austin, so.
That's okay. You go ahead and tune. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to chat for a second and do a little station ID. I'm Jenny Van West coming to you live from the Postcard studio. We are here with Mandy Rowden, amazing singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. Her new album Parachute is out everywhere and it's fabulous. She is also the founder and co-creator and what's the new word? I can't make a noun out of it. Co-opetition manager of Girl Guitar Austin. And you can write to us, P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine 04098, and we'll read it on the air on Mondays. So Mandy, What you got under your fingers now?
Okay, let's do this one. I thought about it. I thought long and hard for the last.
All right, let's do it.
This is called "Sing Hallelujah." This is my absolute favorite from the record, and this is my coach song. We all got them now, but I am part of an organization called Songs for the Soul. Jenny, I hope it's okay to tell stories here.
Absolutely do as much as you want.
All right, cool. Songs for the Soul is an amazing organization that I'm really, really proud to be part of. And the original purpose was for songwriters like myself to be paired with oncology nurses to write their stories into songs as a form of therapy for compassion fatigue, which is just a really, really meaningful thing. I can go on and on about that. But fast forward to the pandemic starting, and we were commissioned to write songs for some of the frontline nurses that were dealing with the coronavirus. And so this song started as one of those. It was meant to be an encouragement to the medical workers who were obviously getting their butts kicked all over the place. And I kind of broadened it after that to be a little bit less medical specific, but still it's a story, or it's not a story, it's an encouragement for what we've all been going through. So it's called Sing Hallelujah. It goes like this. We're into the thick, we're in the uncertain, we're only floundering, not drawing the curtain. Hope springs eternal, but so does fear, when there lies a threat to all I hold dear. My face is covered, but my voice is in silence, and I can't close my eyes from these visions of violence. And we ache for those whose world has stopped turning. We ache for the time before Rome was burning. keep from thinking the stories that tell me that our ship is sinking, and it's a cracked jaw when I'm leaving the reef, but there's still breath left in me to sing. And this is not how the story ends. These I stand and sing hallelujah, hallelujah. We will not break, we will not bend. With my voice, my hands, I sing hallelujah, hallelujah. When I look in life's mirror, what will I see? Will it be grace and truth staring at me? And when that day comes that truly brings light, will I recognize the good fight? 'Cause this is not how the story ends. With these I stand and sing hallelujah, hallelujah. We will not break, we will not bend. With my voice, my hands, I sing hallelujah, hallelujah.
Oh yeah, Mandy Rowden. Oh, that was beautiful. I love that song. I love that
Thank
song, and I
you.
so appreciate hearing the background of that. Like what it came out of, because I'm as a songwriter myself. I'm always wanting to write something that will have as broad of an invitation to come into the song as possible, even if the topic is fairly specific or the inspiration is fairly specific. And I just so I really appreciate that. I really appreciate
Cool.
that. If you're just joining us, welcome to Postcards. We're talking with Mandy Rowden, coming to us live from Austin, Texas. And boy, I can't say enough good things about you and what you're up to, but you've been doing a great job of saying it yourself, just telling it like it is, So almost 17 years ago, Girl Guitar was born of the need to pay your phone bill. I got it. That is like as good a reason as anything to start something. That's the real deal right there. Something that came up from this last song that my brain's exploding. It happens every show. Sorry if you've never been on a full Postcards show. This usually happens at 20 past the hour, but we've been doing pretty well. It's 42 past the hour, and here I am. Anyway, talking self-care. Talking self-care. This is something that, and a lovely comment from Thea here, by the way. Self-care as an artist is a bit of a challenge at times because, and I would call paying one's phone bill self-care. Personally, like we need to be able to communicate. We need to be able to, keep the lights on and so forth. So maybe you could talk a little bit about, like how do you take care of yourself when you start to bump up against those edges of not quite enough sleep, a little too much going on, head going a little nuts, or whatever happens for you when things get a little stressful. How do you rejuvenate yourself?
I had a lucky timing coincidence where January of 2020 I started running, and I have always wanted to be a runner, but I guess in my past I wanted more to be a beer drinker and a cigarette smoker, and it's just a complete lazy piece of garbage. That one, as much as running seemed like. So anyway, I started running, and it was like 8 minutes at a time, maybe 10 minutes around my neighborhood. But I just really focused on being consistent, and I would go out pretty much every day and run for 8 minutes or something. And I built, But when the pandemic hit, I sort of had a little bit of a foundation going. And so running became the whole thing for me. That's absolutely been my source of sanity.
Wow,
and I know
awesome.
it doesn't totally sound like self-care, or it like brings up a whole need for like more self-care when you throw that in. I just, in, was it February? I just ran the Austin Marathon.
Holy smokes! Congratulations! Oh God, I almost knocked my whole rig over. Congratulations! Wow, that I wasn't expecting you to go. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I really got the bug, and I won't say I ran it all fast or like it wasn't painful.
That's amazing.
But that's been a huge thing. And in the fall of this last year, I started grad school as well. And my boyfriend asked me, he was like, "You sure you can put, running on top of all of this?" And I was like, "I don't think I can do all this without running." It's really my sanity. It's teaching me so much about taking things as they come and chilling out and just putting one foot in front of the other, which is, so I could rattle for a long time about the parallels between running and having a healthy brain.
Yeah. Well, and you're preaching to the converted, because I back in my 20s, and teens and 20s, I was a runner, and so I came from a family that ran, so it was like I'm familiar with it, and it is self-care. Mm-hmm. It is self-care. It's one of the best forms of like psycho-spiritual physical therapy that there is. Within, if you keep it on the side of what your body can do and wants to do, and clearly you're able to run marathons and do that. I mean, like that's amazing. We should all be so lucky. So that's that. Anyway, if you're just joining us, my brain's exploding. If you've joined us before, you know that this is a common occurrence on Postcards. My brain just explodes. It tries to go in 6 different directions. But so you've got this fabulous album. Can I ask you to play the title track off of that? Would you be willing to do that?
I'd be totally willing to. I have to tune my guitar down.
Okay.
So do you want to do
So if we want to do, maybe we'll do that. Let's because we got about 15 minutes left. I'm thinking, one more song, and then, if you want to do another one after that, that's fine. So you decide. But I did want to ask you about the title track and sort of what was going on for you when you were writing that.
Oh, I can tell you all about it. Yeah. Well, I happen to be at Girl Guitar. As you can see, I have no shortage of guitars here, so I can tune this one down and then grab another one if I end up playing another song. And I don't know. Do you have a station ID or something, or a funny joke, or? Do you
totally. Yes, absolutely. We're having a fabulous time here speaking with Mandy Rowden of Girl Guitar and Mandy Rowden enterprises, marathons, albums, songs, all kinds of stuff. And we clearly need to do like a 5-part installment and just focus in on each of these little places where our lives overlap and where you've got things I want to ask you about. But if you're just joining us for the first time, this is Postcards, P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine. Where's my banner? P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine, 04098. Here's the deal. You write me a postcard, I read it on the air. It goes on this lovely wall of fame with a wall of love that I have right here. Normally it's behind me, but this week I was like, I need to be looking at it. I want to look at all these incredible little pieces of mail and bumper stickers and coasters and all kinds of cool stuff that people have sent me over the last couple of years. We started out in the beginning, November 2020, and continuing to this day, have a lot of good things to say about every single artist that's been on here. And also, I want to say a special thank you to Emily Hansen of Magnolia Roads, who's been doing all of our bookings. She's awesome. Yeah, love you, Emily, and really, really appreciate everything that we've been able to create together here on Postcards. And to wit, Ms. Mandy Rowden, who's in the studio today, in the Girl Guitar studio. Is it a studio? Do you have a recording studio there? Or is it a teaching space? Or what's the space like there?
Do you want to see? I can walk around with my laptop.
Sure. I don't know. You're tuning your guitar right now. It might be kind of challenging to do both.
I'll try to make this interesting for the folks who can't see.
Okay, tour time. Let's do a tour. Right. I'm going to full screen you. Okay, here we go.
More or less, it's a big warehouse, like one one big space, but when you walk in the door, you can kind of see there's the whole room there.
Oh my gosh.
And over to the left, we have this really interesting build out here with some space for
Whoops, I lost your mic there.
Oh, can you hear
what's
me
in
now?
the fridge? Looks like you need...
I don't know, what, 80 or 90 bottles of wine in there.
Awesome.
And so we have a little boutique going in here. That's what you see with the clothing racks and some storage. We're fans of bead curtains. We got pianos. We've got over here a full setup. So when the classes come in, they can just sit at the drums, plug their guitars into amps. We've got the keyboard provided. We've got, the whole setup. It's all ready to go here. Bass amp, the whole mess. More guitars, more clothing, cool little pink sequin photo wall thing. That's important. And then over here is where we do a lot of our acoustic classes. So we got the funky couches and lamps and, if you want to plop down on the floor, a lot of chairs and things. I got a little bit of a mess made for the setup you and I are doing, but
oh, this is great. Thank you so much. Because it looks like you're in a little like vibey waiting room kind of area, and you sort of are, but it's in this larger space. And I absolutely love what you all have created in there.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
It's a really special place we've got.
Yeah, no kidding. I know. Like I said, I want to like plan to come down and like take a workshop or something like that. Just hang out with you guys and see what's going on.
Come do a show here. We do house concerts.
Oh yeah, that would be. I would love it. I love it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, we've got things to do together. This is awesome. So now in the middle of running marathons and giving us all a tour of Girl Guitar Austin, you have retuned your guitar, and so because I wanted to hear the title track from your new album, Parachute.
Parachute. Yeah, man. I'm in a relationship which it's the longest one I've ever been in. We're going on 8 years now.
Congrats.
After a lifetime of I don't know how to say it. The shorter relationships. Let's just put it that way.
Fits and starts.
Yeah. And, I have written, and the world is full of many songs about the beginnings of love and the butterflies and the excitement. And then even more songs about the end of love, which stirs up a lot of stuff. Got my share of those. But what I think doesn't get enough attention is when love has just become steady and dependable and kind of boring and just so solid. Nobody's talking about that, or at least I have not previously written about that. And I'm just a huge fan of the idea of happily lounging on the couch or taking a road trip where you don't really have to talk that much, or just knowing and it's good and it's comfy and there's not a ton of butterflies and nothing crazy exciting is happening every other second, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what this song is about, is how awesome it is just to be bored with somebody that you care about.
How awesome it is to be bored with somebody you care about. All right.
So
let's hear it, Mandy.
That's Parachute. Here it is. The game of life, some things are fun, sometimes they roll my eyes, but I've played them a lot. One thing is sure, need a partner in crime. Had a few close calls, but I found one this time. All day long we run, thinking ends have to meet. There's no time left for all the things that we need. At the end of the day, there's one thing I know. Another bill got paid, What do we have to show? I've already scored with you. Now I want to be born with you. We can stay in the same position until we rot. Now that the search is through, want to sit on my perch with you. Look at all of the beautiful things we have got. Couch with you. Spend the winter down south with you. Want to sit on the porch with you. Load up and drive north with you. You take the least to me. Could just stay east and see. You give the best of you. Wanna move out west with you. Anywhere with you. Just wanna share it with you. To hell with our cares, it's true. You're my parachute. Gnarly guitar solo. I've already scored with you. Now I want to be born with you. We can stay in this same position until we rot. Now that the search is through, want to sit on my perch with you. Look at all of the beautiful things we have got. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Mandy Rowden here on Postcards. That was her title track from her new album, Parachute, released 2021. Super excited to hear that live here. And if you like the sound of Mandy here on the crazy old interwebs, you should check her out at Lukenbach, Texas on May the 7th from 1 to 5. And if you don't know where to go in Lukenbach, what I understand is, having never been there, but having had this explained to me, just go. Just go to Lukenbach and you'll find it. Am I right?
Yes, yeah. It's somewhere in or around one of the three buildings there.
Just go to Lukenbach and use your big country voice and yell Mandy's name on May the 7th around 12:45 before the show starts, and she'll holler back and you can find the show.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So Mandy, you know what? I hate to say it, but we are out of time. There's some clapping from your dear friend Cecily.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being on Postcards today. I'm so excited that you were able to do this. We have so much more to talk about and maybe some things to do together. I don't know. I know I need to spend more time in Austin. I had such a fabulous time there this year. It was my third or fourth, like my fourth time down to Austin, and just met so many wonderful people this time and connected so much. And you were one of the people I got to meet. And now I feel like I know you a little better.
Hell yeah. It's time together finally.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I'm playing it. I don't know what your guitar is tuned to at this point, but it is a tradition It was a pandemic tradition to play the postcard song and do a totally out of sync jam of some kind. So if you need to pick a different instrument or whatever, that's fine. But I'm playing in the key of A, and so
I was jamming with you earlier when you did it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's great. I was just jamming with you on that last song.
I love it. Out of sync jamming is, sometimes the only way.
Wait, what did you say?
I said out of sync jamming is sometimes the only way I do it. So.
Okay, great. So you're going to fit right in on this one.
No, you're not.
Anyway, so thank you again, Mandy. Mandy Rowden. You can find her on the inner tubes, mandyrowden.com. Girl Guitar Austin, which is her amazing project of almost 17 years. And you can catch her live at Lukenbach, Texas on May the 7th. And you can listen to her out on Spotify and wherever you like to listen to music. Her new album, Parachute, is really dynamite. And just want to point out something you said in the beginning, which is that you play most of the tracks, all the guitars on that. So go check it out. All right, Mandy, here we are in the key of A. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I forgot to say that. And thank you again to Emily Hansen for doing the booking. And everybody in the family, we'll see you on Monday. When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard. When you're feeling fine and there's something on your mind, just write a postcard. Don't you know Grandma loves this show? She listens every time. You don't need a reason, you don't need a rhyme to write a postcard to P.O. Box 1252. Just write a postcard 04098. Just write a postcard to Westbrook, Maine, 'cause Grandma loves this show. All right, thank you, Mandy. This was so much fun. Thank you again. It was absolutely wonderful to get to chat with you, Mandy Rowden. Hang out for a second. We'll say hello and goodbye after I end the broadcast. Thank you to all our listeners today. Hello and goodbye, and we'll see you Monday.